Welcome back to the ANZCRL Ferrari 355 Challenge. This is the second round here at the Catalunya National Circuit. Dramatic first race which saw Chuck Racing take the win. But I just found out in our little break that the guys that got disconnected at the start have made a second lobby and are currently racing in their Monza race. So unfortunately that means we don't quite know the full results. We'll only find out the results at this lobby, so take these results with a pinch of salt. There's some very fast cars in this lobby. We just gotta hope and see if just see where all these guys end up. Of course, if you watched the last race, you would have seen Chuck Racing with a dominant win over the rest of the guys. Taipan second, Shad's third. I'm sorry, Triple Rotor was third. As I just got a message. Apologies. Looks like my Xbox app is having a fit. So we're watching Chuck Near close up on Taipan. That's an interesting line to that the last third to last and second to last corners. But of course this is practice for these guys just to get their setups fine-tuned, get used to the circuit, the conditions. Of course this race tonight is completely dry. The previous session was pretty much wet the whole way. Well, the race was wet the whole way. Oh, sideways for Chucky. He is wringing the neck of this thing. The temperatures are probably not quite up on that Ferrari just yet. So of course I should let you know that in an event that we have to run two lobbies, the session times from both lobbies will be combined together. As that's a big bungle. Taipan's just been involved in a smash. That was trying to work out who that was. I have no idea. I have no idea who was involved with Taipan there. But yep. So the guys that just disconnected now have they're joining our other lobby, so we're running two lobbies at the moment. There's a lobby of 6 and a lobby of 7. So we've got a few fast guys in this lobby. Chuck, Shads, Triple, Taipan and Squid are all among the fastest drivers we have in the ANZCRL. So with 10 minutes to go in practice, we'll this could be an interesting one where the fast guys will be battling it out, and they could slow themselves down, and a lot of the guys that are not quite to their level will start they could gain a lot of time and even overtake them just by having a clean run at the front in the other lobby. So I'll be interested to see how the results end up in the after the race. If you want to see the final results, check out my YouTube channel. I will be uploading both these races onto YouTube with the final results of both lobbies. So if you want to know who's finished where effectively, just jump onto there and we'll jump onto YouTube and and you'll see the results there. So Chucky's just jumped in the pits, as has Gear 3 Gaming. They're sitting first and third respectively. That is a quick time from Chuck, 1:16.4. This is a significantly shorter lap time than Monza, and this is a quite a tight track. Very lacking in overtaking spots. Turns 1 and 5 will probably be the overtaking spots. Turn 1 being the obviously the first turn, and turn 5 being this hairpin here. Actually, that hairpin's turned 7. My mistake. I forgot about the chicane just past where the GP circuit's turn 9 sweeper would be. So there's quite a gaggle of cars up here. Headed by Squid, so you got Squid triple Taipan pretty much close on track. Squid yet to set a time in this session. He will set a time with this outlap. Of course, he's been out on track so far. Seven minutes to go in this practice session, and Chucky leads with a 1:16.4, and he's just entered the circuit now. Shat second, 1:18.3. Taipan third, 1:19.4. Gear 3 Gaming, 1:20.5. Triple Rotor, 1:21.4. He'll be looking to improve that time in the next qualifying session. Oh, on the grass for Squid. He's doing a qualifying sim at the moment by the looks of it. He's only got 6 litres of fuel in that car. He'll be wringing the neck of this thing trying to and get a reflective lap time. Of course, I should have said at the top that I'm again solo commentary for this race. I would normally be racing or be finishing off the well, I'm normally not available to do this. I'm not usually racing, so an injured ankle means that I cannot drive, and so try my hand at commentary, which I used to do back in AWA Oceania Xbox One Season 2, which that's a mouthful in itself due to how big that league is. So just under 6 minutes to go in this session, and Squid is on a quick one. He's jumped up to second with a 1:17.7 and 4 tenths up to the first sector. Can he gain even more time in the second? Oh, that's a fast change of direction. A lot of cars can go unstuck at that fast chicane there. He's 3 tenths up, so he's actually lost a tenth in that second sector. Coming along this long hairpin. Into the chicane that bypasses that right hand sweeper that the bikes use. Hard to get the car pointed in the right direction. But that chicane means that that final corner is pretty much flat out nowadays. So run to the line will improve his time. Crosses the line only 2 tenths quicker, so his second and third sectors were actually quite slow, which is very surprising for Squid. Taipan's actually put himself into second place now. He's done a 16.9, so the shorter lap time is showing a smaller gap between all the drivers. The whole field separated within 3 seconds, which is a smaller gap than what it was in the last race. We're seeing gaps of like 5-6 seconds between the first and last. So as usual, smaller track, shorter lap time, smaller gap. So Chuck Racing, he's actually improved his lap time. He's done a 16.3 he was a quarter of a second down at that first sector split, but he's put together brilliant second and third sectors to improve his time. Of course, he also is doing a qualifying sim at the moment. He's really struggling through that first sector at the moment. He can't quite match the time he set earlier in the session for sideways exiting that chicane. And that's lost him 0.4 of a second. I do like reading English sometimes, so Squid will probably have 2 more laps, I want to say. Maybe even more. Fuel burn around here is not that big, so you can run lower amounts of fuel and get plenty of laps in. Two minutes to go in this session as these drivers are trying to get themselves in the right frame of mind to qualify very well and give themselves a good chance at scoring good points tonight. Better first sector from Chuck then. One minute to go in this session. Chuck, oh my god, he's gone into the 1 minute 15s. What a last sector from Chuck. Has he backed out of it? No, he's going again. I thought he might have backed out, but no, he's continuing on for one last lap. See if he can go even faster. Yeah, 1.2 seconds off. He's returned to the pit lane. Oh, Taipan, just as we're joining him, massive moment exiting turn 1. And he's just coming out of the pits there, so it looks like he's doing a quick... It's very interesting. Jump on board with Shads. Oh, sideways, a lot of these other guys are really struggling trying to find the time to match Chuck. Because Chuck wasn't very happy with how his Daytona 24-hour race went. Of course, he had the flu the week before the race. So limited practice saw him finish down around the 3rd, 4th place mark, which for a normal driver would seem pretty good, but that doesn't satisfy Chuck. Chuck only wants to win, and he's been very used to winning in his time at ANZCRL to date. So he's come in with real motivation and drive to dominate this championship, as he did the V8 Tour last year. Now, can Shads improve? Remember, he had that big moment at turn 1. Crosses the line. And did not improve, so Chuck Racing first, Taipan second, Squid third, Shads fourth, Triple Rotor fifth, and Gear 3 Gaming in 6th place. As we enter into qualifying now. 10-minute qualifying session to decide the grid for round 2, which will be a 17-lap race and probably without a pit stop. As we see Squid, the first car out on track, he'll be looking to bounce back from that poor showing at round 1. He'll be looking to get back on the front row of the grid. Taipan still in the pits at the moment, just pulling out of the pits now. So we have all the cars on track now. Shouldn't be an issue with track space, considering we've only got a 6-car lobby. Whoa, very wide for Squid. On his outlap, he's pushing really hard to try and warm those tyres up. So we have Squid, then Chuck, Triple 3rd in the order, Gear 4th, and Shad's 5th. Gear getting sideways through that corner by the looks of things. As you see, Squid rounding the final corner to start his final lap. 7.5 litres of fuel, so he should get plenty of laps in at this early stage. In the 5th gear. Does he get into 6th? No, he doesn't. High into 5th gear, then shifts back to 2nd for turn 1. Now into 3rd. Keeps it low in the 3rd through this left right. It's very easy to lose the back end through there. Into 4th gear for this fast right-hander. Keeps in 4th through this chicane. Wow, went very wide for the right-hander, which meant he cut the left-hander. So did he get a slowdown for that? I would imagine that he did. 2nd gear for that hairpin. There was a bone of contention in practice to see whether 1st or 2nd gear through there would be beneficial. 3rd gear for this long right-hander before keeping in 3rd, entering this sort of chicane section. Down to 2nd. Ride the curbs. Of course the curbs are pretty flat at this circuit in this configuration. Round on the final corner now. What time can Squid set? Into 5th and across the line. He does a 1:17.9, not too shabby, but Chuck has caught him up pretty big. They'll open a 1:16.4 for Chuck as we follow Triple through the final corner. Oh sorry, I jumped on Taipan. I meant to click Triple, but I must have missed. Triple's done a 1:18.4. Gear a 1:18.5. Shad's a 1:19.6. And Taipan goes 3rd fastest with an 18.2. Now I don't see Squid near. Alright, Squid's pulled out. Chuck 2/10 up on his previous fastest lap. He'll be looking to get back into the 15s that he was doing in practice. With 8 litres of fuel in the car, he's got more fuel in the car than what Squid has. So, Chuck will be looking to do the whole session. Just doing lap after lap after lap. Cuts the final corner nicely. That curb being so low means you can use every little bit of road possible. Into 5th gear and across the line. Chuck invalidated his lap time. I would imagine he did looks like he did a 15.9, but he's invalidated it. Squid 1.1 seconds slower, but he's in previous lap I think he did. Triple has improved his lap time as well. He's done 17.9. Taipan an 18.0. As Squid is gone very slow. He's pulling off to the side. He's letting Chuck through. Squid will be setting himself up for one last lap before he has to pit. Gear 3 Gaming in the pit lane. He'll be refueling and retooling with 5 minutes to go in this session. He'll be looking to get a minimal amount of fuel. Yep, 7 litres of fuel, a very small amount of fuel. And he'll try and bang out a fast time and try and keep himself, maybe even push for third place. Shad's an 18-2 at the moment. He's been struggling with track limits this session, and he'll be looking to try and get himself clean laps. He knows he has the pace to be in the top 3. He just needs to get that consistency right. Of course, a problem he has is that he tries to push too hard too often. Rounds the final corner now. Wonder if he's going to set a decent lap time this time by. Into 5th gear and across the line. He goes 17.5, puts him 3rd fastest. 0.02 of a second slower than Squid. Squid will be worried about that. He's sitting in the pits right now. He'll be trying to get out there as quick as possible. 9 litres in the car. That's you know what? That's a bit too much fuel there. As if I was Squid, I'd be put 5 litres in the car and get out now. Try and get as many laps as you can. Meanwhile, Chuck is looking to try and get into the 15s. Look very quick through that fast chicane round the final corner now. He's still got 5 litres of fuel in the car, so he's got plenty of fuel in it. 15.7 goes Chuck Racing 51. I was saying he'll be looking to try. Oh, he spun into turn 1. Oh, he almost took Shads out as well. So Chuck could be happy with that. He'll sit in the garage for the rest of the session. Now Shads, I believe he's come to the pits, put fresh tyres on. 7 litres of fuel, which is probably more than what I would have put in. But we'll be looking to try and push for that front row spot. The battle between Squid and Shads for second place will be a tight one. They've shown 0.02 of a second the gap between the two at the moment. So this is a battle that could go either way. These guys have had brilliant battles in the past in ANZCRL, and looks like this race will be no different if they both can keep it clean. Both had troubles in the first round. As Shads now comes around the final corner to start his flying lap, as we will jump on board. 5th gear now. Enters turn 1, braking just before the 100-metre board, down to 2nd gear. Of course, these cars fitted with that H-pattern gearbox means that shifting can be quite slow, but if you have the shifter you can skip gears and stuff and increase braking performance, which could be crucial in this qualifying session. Bounces his fast right hand sweeper in 4th gear. Does he take this chicane in 4th gear? Yes, he does. Keeps it pretty clean. Looks a very tidy lap to start with. Brakes just after the 100 metre board. He's 2/10 down at the moment with 1 minute left in this session. He should be able to get a second lap in. Down to 2nd gear. Which, interesting move. Trying to get the car turned in, obviously. 3rd gear down to 2nd now. Trying to get the car turned and use as little road as possible through the fast chicane, over the curb, use as much of the exit curve as possible. Round in the final corner now into 4th gear. Now it's a pretty long run to the finish line on this variant. The start and finish line is at the same point. He was 6/10 slow at that time by Shads. But with 20 seconds left to go, he gets one last lap. Squid round in the final corner. Oh, he's getting close to Taipan now. Taipan starting his lap. Can Taipan make it? Oh, he just made it, but I don't think Squid did. No, he didn't. Squid didn't make it. And Shads has made a mistake. He's in the pits. Now Triple. He's still he's the first of the cars that are on track, but he's going slow. He's pulled out of it. Taipan's the only one on the lap as Gear 3 Gaming returned to the pits as well. And he's made a mistake and he's pulled into the pits, so that's qualifying over. Chuck Racing, 1:15.7. What a lap from him. He goes fastest. Squid second, Shad's third. 0.02 of a second separating them. They are very close to each other. Triple Rotor fourth with a 17.9. Taipan 1:18.0 and Gear 3 Gaming with a 1:18.2 rounds out your the 6 guys in this lobby. Of course, we have a 7-car lobby in the we have a 7-car lobby that is currently running separate to this. The 2 lobbies will combine the race time, so the fastest race time will be the winner, which odds on should be Chuck Racing, by far the fastest racer tonight. But I think the rest of this will be very interesting, because even if we have a winner in this session, we don't quite know if they've won the race because we have to wait and see in the other lobby. The other lobby, of course, has AJ, Sam Pappy, Dado Racer, Dark Racing, Woody Lizard, Whopper, and Simmer Racing. Plenty of good quality drivers in that other lobby, so we will have no idea where they will finish until after the second lobby has been completed. Of course, after the issues that happened in that first race, there was they have been behind us in this lobby, so we'll be interested to see how it will go. Now we're about to start this race now. 3, 2, 1, and they're off. What a jump from Chuck Racing. And Squid now covers off Shads, entering turn 1. Triple Rotor trying to go around the outside. Triple Rotor is past, trying to go around the outside for second place. Squid looks like he's got second place secured. Gear 3 Gaming, Taipan gone side by side. Taipan holds on the 5th place, and Triple Rotor overtakes Shads for 3rd. What a move from Triple. And this is tied 3rd to 6th, very, very close to start this race. Shads will be looking to, he'll be filthy with his race start, and he'll be looking to make a move down Triple Rotor, which he does. Deep under the brakes into turn 7, and he gets the move done, and Triple Rotor is now under threat from Taipan, and Taipan gets the move done. So in 2 corners, Triple Rotor's gone from 3rd to 5th. That is hurting big time, and now Gear 3 Gaming now is looking like he wants a piece. He is going down the inside, not quite far enough up. Triple Rotor turns in, and now Taipan will be looking to try and overtake Shads for that final podium position, as Chuck and Squid are now taken off while these 4 have been battling. And what a hectic turn 1 this has been, as it's interesting seeing the Ferrari flash its headlights. Of course, they have the pop-up headlights, so the lights have to go up and then down from the flash. So of course, Chuck Racing with almost a 2-second lead already. Squid in second, Shads trying to hold off this feisty battle pack of Shads, Taipan, Triple and Gear 3 Gaming. All very close. Gear 3, at this early stage, Gear 3 Gaming is actually really surprising me. He's keeping up with these 4. He'll be proud with his performance at the moment. Oh, sideways through that chicane for Gear 3 Gaming. As Shad's very slow through that hairpin, and Triple very wide. As now Taipan is had a great run on Shad's up that hill, and he'll be looking to try and get a move done at some stage if he can get close enough. But what run through the chicane for Shads, and he's built out a 5/10 lead already. Of course, Taipan in the slipstream, Gear 3 Gaming in the slipstream of triple. But don't think the straight is long enough for it to have much of an effect as they come into brakes for turn 1. Taipan very close to Shads. Gear 3 Gaming very close to triple. And triple, if he can get some clean running in, will start closing back up on Taipan. That gap there between the two is ballooned out to about 0.8 or so. Now Shads will be trying to chase down Squid, and Squid will be trying to pull away as Chuck is getting close to it. In fact, it is a 2.5 second lead already. So Chuck picking up from where he left off in round 1. Triple really struggling through that hairpin, and he's under threat from Gear 3 Gaming. Oh, that's monstered the curb. Did he get damage from that? Oh, that is a big moment for Triple. He got really high on that curb, and that cost him 5th place to Gear 3 Gaming. I wonder if he's got damage from that. As Taipan now, he's very close to Shads now. Will he look for a move into turn 1? He's under the rear wing now. He pulls out deep under the brakes. They both go. Shads just deep enough, and he holds on to 3rd place. And this is not what Shads wants. Shads wants some clear running so he can try and close up to Squid. Whereas Taipan will go, hey, he's going, hey, I'm faster than you here. Let me get in front so I can try and close up to Squid. Stubborn blokes are racers, and this section here is where Taipan is usually very strong in this, has been proven to be very strong in this early phase, and he closes right up to Shads already. In the 2nd, short shift the 3rd. Up in the 4th, but shifting down the 3rd. He'll be trying to get a good run through here, but it looks like the gap is pretty big. Oh, Shads was pretty wide entering that chicane. Did Taipan cut that corner a bit too much? In the 4th gear, he lifted off by the looks of it, but he hasn't lost too much time. He's under the rear wing of Shads, but a bit further back than he was in the previous lap, and of course won't be able to make a move there. Shads in that blue Ferrari with that Italian flag at the rear. He'd be trying to keep Taipan as far away as possible. As the one battle we have lost in all this is Triple and Gear. Triple's struggled so far in this race. I don't think the balance of that car is quite right on the full tank of fuel. Yeah, he got a good jump early, but has since made a couple of mistakes and dropped back. Meanwhile, in the battle for 3rd, Shad's trying to hold off Taipan and doing a good job for the moment. Taipan using a lot more curb with it, a lot more of those curbs at the final chicane than what Shads is doing at the moment. Is that yielding Taipan a couple of extra, or a 10th or 2 a lap, which could be crucial later on if he gets close enough to get a run on him down this straight. Oh, that's a dive! Oh, that was so close between those two. Taipan went for a massive dive. These drivers are very gutsy, and if they're not careful they will get themselves into trouble. They need to keep their cool. There's still 11 laps to go in this race, so still plenty of time. Just to bide your time. Don't need to get past straight away as they're actually closing in on Squid. This is going to be a 3-way battle for 2nd place in a bit. This race has been a cracker. We saw in round 1 where in the wet conditions, because drivers were making mistakes, the racing with the cars spread out and there wasn't much going on. This race is so much better at this early stage. We got a three-way battle now for second place. Squid is now starting to struggle in his car, and Shads and Taipan are reeling him in. In the slipstream, the two R's, Gear 3 Gaming actually made a mistake or something. Triple Road has gotten past for 5th. But we're still looking at Shads. And look how close he's gotten to that car of uncrewed Squid 8. And with over 10 laps to go, Squid's run wide. This is Squid is now really struggling. He's trying to push to pull out the gap, but he's not he's really struggling. I don't know whether the balance of the car is wrong or what, but and again he's missed apex there. In fact, Shads has missed an apex as well. Into the final chicane, try not to use too much curb. We saw Triple Rotor early in this race came unstuck by monstering that curb. Oh, and poor exit for Squid. Shads has got the run. Coming, oh, that's the tap of the brakes. What happened there? Shads and Squid side by side. Shads into second place. Can he hold it? Into turn 1. They're in 5th gear. Oh, they're getting very close. Deep under the brakes. They're gone side by side through turn 2. Of course, Shad's inside line and hold second place. We've got to change the podium positions. They've swapped. Oh, and Squid's run wide. Is that going to be a slowdown? Slowdowns could kill you. And looks like Shads now has the perfect opportunity to pull away now. He's put Squid in between him and Taipan. Taipan has looked to be the fastest car of these three of the past few laps, but has been stuck behind Shads. That's a lot of curve for Shads, and oh, he's gone very slow. Squid trying to go around the outside, can't quite do it. Shads holds on to second place. That could have been a costly mistake entering that turn 7 hairpin, but now Squid will be looking to get a good run on Shads, but he hasn't quite. In fact, Shads has probably got the best run of the lot of them. Taipan looking to get past Squid, but there's a big gap, so it looks like no positions will change on this lap, as we are on lap 9 now. And with these three battling, Chuck is pulled out to a 10.5 second gap. And that's actually very slow for Squid through turn 1 or sideways. Tried to put the power on too harshly and has almost pivoted the car around. Taipan now will be licking his lips at trying to get on the podium. That'll be 2 podium finishes in a row for Taipan. Can he dive it down into turn 7? No, he's not far enough. As it seems like Shads are struggling through the turn 7, but and Squid might even be the fastest car through turn 7. It looks like Taipan's been exceeding track limits a little bit. Chuck Racing has set the fastest lap of the race. He's done a 1:15.9. None of these other cars have gotten close to the 15s at the moment. Chuck is proving to be a class above in this early stage of this championship. This has been a brilliant battle for second place at the moment. Squid hasn't let Shads get away. In fact, the car's probably come back to him. There was probably a 5 lap period where Squid's car was handling. Oh, he got very close there. Shads was out of shape exiting turn 1, and that's caught Squid out big time. Now Squid and Taipan gone side by side, approaching turn 4. Oh, and they're off. They've spun. Squid and Taipan have collided. That led Shads off the leash. And now Taipan is into third place. Oh, what drama we've had here. That is a calamity. And is Taipan's car damaged? He was sideways exiting turn 7 and he's now struggling for grip. I wonder if that rear end of his is hurting. Squid is now really close behind Taipan now. And of course, if he only has front end damage, that is not as bad as rear end damage. Because it's easier to drive an understeery car than an oversteery car. Round in the final corner now. Squid under the back of Taipan now. He is very close and will be looking for a move into turn 1. Taipan won't be happy if Squid gets past. Because he'll be... oh, they're racing very hard. They don't like each other at the moment. Oh, and Taipan's taken Squid out now. These shenanigans are bringing triple rotor racing into it. Taipan is not a very happy person at the moment. He feels aggrieved that he got taken out of third place when he was battling for second by Squid. Now Squid is driving away in third place, and now Taipan's got to try and hold off triple rotor racing. Chuck now on lap 12 and running away with this race. He has built out a 15-second lead over Shads, who has a 11-second lead over Squid now. The shenanigans between Squid and Taipan have really cost him this race. There was a three-way battle for second place, but now it's almost a three-way battle for third, and if Squid and Taipan close up and keep at it, it could even bring Gear 3 Gaming back into this race. But it looks like the shenanigans between Squid and Taipan has really hurt Taipan's car more than Squid's. As it looks like Triple, if Triple could be on here, or wire head for Taipan through turn 4, trying to do quick math. But it looks like if Triple can close up, which I think Triple's made a mistake. He's had a mistake or a slowdown, one of the two. But yeah, now this race is finally starting to settle down and we can all start taking a breath. We haven't had a look at our leader all race due to the hard battling. He's driven a brilliant race so far. I said coming into this weekend that Chuck Racing was trying to make up for his little failure, if you were, at the Daytona 24 hour. Heading into the 24 hour that was held a couple of weeks ago, he had the flu, and then as a result lack of practice saw him only finish around 3rd or 4th place, which is far below the standards that he sets himself. Of course, he expects to be by far the fastest car of the track every race, and he's practiced hard the last 2 weeks getting this car set up perfectly so that as he arrived at Monza and here at Catalunya, he would dominate, and he has done so. End of lap 13 and he has a 17-second lead over Shads, who is no slouch, so that is a masterful performance so far. With 4 laps to go of this race, if he keeps it clean, this will be a clean sweep of tonight's racing. Of course, at Monza held earlier tonight, he was fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, won the race, got the fastest lap in the race, and has done the same here. Fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, fastest in this race, and he has the fastest lap. He's done the 15.9. No car's gotten close to, as we have a look here, the fastest lap. Oh, hang on, jumped the gun a bit, 15.9. How about a 16.6? However, the next fastest car is a lap was a 17.0 by Squid, and that was before he hit trouble. Shads has lacked something this weekend. Of course, he's pretty much set the cars up for most of the grid, and but for whatever reason, he just hasn't had the consistency he had at the Daytona 24-hour. Of course, he sits in second place, and thanks to the battling between Squid and Taipan, really built out that gap. It is 8 seconds now between Shads and Squid. Now Squid, now that he's got some breathing room and away from Taipan, he's pulling away, but will Taipan put in an inquiry into Squid's driving after this race? Of course, we saw Squid get into the back of Taipan a few laps ago, which spun both cars around. And then the very next lap, Taipan returned serve, which spun both of them around, which has brought Triple Rotor Racing back into this race. So if there's stewards' inquiries for both incidences that see penalties applied, that could very well see Triple Rotor Racing jump on the podium for the first time in this championship, which Triple Rotor said at the in the Race 1 stream, he's probably been the most improved driver of the ANZCRL group. Of course, he was sort of back of the mid-pack in the V8 Supercar Tour we held it back in November. But he had a strong showing at the Daytona 24-hour, drove it solo and finished second, and was on pace with Shads for the entire race, who did win the race, the Daytona 24-hour. So he's showing brilliant improvement and could very well get a podium or two in the next few rounds if he keeps working at it. Taipan fourth, as we said, had a few instances with Squid, and he will not be happy. I believe there's some damage to that number 153 Ferrari, and it could be it's going to be a tall ask to get third place now. Gear 3 Gaming has had not sure what's happened, as we've been focusing on the front cars a bit more. I think he's had a few mistakes, as he did in round 1, and yep, as you see there, very deep into turn 1. Of course, probably doesn't practice as much as he needs to, and yeah, it creates a bit of mistakes for him. Still very young, Gear 3 Gaming, and if he keeps working at it, he could be a very capable driver in a few years' time. But Chuck. I keep getting his name wrong this evening, and that is my bad. But Chuck Racing on his final lap now, going through turns 5 and 6 now. Masterful performance for him, as I've said throughout the entire evening. He's led from the front here at Monza in the rain, and now here at Catalunya in the dry. He's mastered both conditions, the two different types of circuits, and he'll be very pleased. And will probably be our number 1 ranked driver after this race. Of course, there was after the Daytona 24-hour, Taipan became the number 1 ranked driver of the ANZCRL group. But Chuck Racing round in the final corner now, and he will win another Grand Slam, clean sweeps the second round of the ANZCRL Ferrari 355 Challenge. Of course, Shads round in the final chicane now, and around the final corner. As soon as it got past Squid, he's never looked back, and a solid race for Shads as he crosses the finish line, takes second place. I think Chucky's been doing donuts as Squid. Taipan, what's happened here? We missed this, and Taipan's taken third place from Squid. Triple Rotor crosses the line now in fifth. I think he made a mistake at the last couple of corners and has dropped back, and now Gear 3 Gaming rounds the final corner now. Looks like Taipan and Shads are having a bit of fun there as Gear crosses the line to finish the race. And what a race this was, very action packed throughout. Chuck Racing dominated this race. He took first place. Taipan in third place thanks to a 1 second penalty from Squid. Triple Rotor in fifth and Gear 3 Gaming in sixth place. As I'll take a screenshot for Dark Racing and Woody so that they can help get the results out. But yeah, what a race, what a round, what a weekend, what a start. Ferrari 355 challenge. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did, especially that second race. What an exciting second race that was. And we saw a masterful display from Chuck. Hard battling between Shads, Taipan and Squid. Triple probably lacked a bit of pace, but he got a decent result in the end, and now we'll wait to see how the second lobby. We'll see how that second lobby goes, and so have a look at the ANZCRL website. I believe it's weebly.anzcrl.com, something like that. You'll be able to find it if you search ANZCRL on Google or New Zealand Combined Racing League. But that has been it from me. My name's Sato15, and I hope you all have a good one and take care.